Hello students, let's start chapter 2nd of our geography textbook, Globe, Latitudes and Longitudes. In this chapter you will study about globe, its advantage and disadvantage, features on a globe, latitudes, parallels of latitudes, longitudes, longitude and time zones. Our Earth is a unique planet where life exists. With the availability of actual photographs and pictures, it has become clear that Earth is spherical in shape. It bulges at the equator and flattens at the poles like an orange. In order to study the details about the Earth, it has been represented in different ways. The most popular one is the representation with the help of a globe. Globe is a representation of the Earth in a short form. A globe represents the three-dimensional view of the Earth. It shows the shape of the oceans and continents correctly. It also shows their correct relation to one another as they are on the Earth. This is an image of a globe. The distance based on scale and directions of places are fairly correct on the globe. Advantages of the globe. A globe gives us a better idea of parallels of latitudes and meridians of longitudes. It helps us to know how day and night occur and how seasons are caused. Only a globe can give an idea of the tiltation of the Earth axis. Disadvantages of the globe. The globe has certain limitations also. It is difficult to carry the globe all around. Although inflatable globes made of plastic are also available, yet inflating it and fixing at the axis takes a lot of time. A globe does not show details like town, villages, roads, railways and waterways, etc. Maps are more important for studying the above. Thus, a globe cannot be used for studying a specific part of the Earth. Features on a globe. We know that distance and directions help us to locate a place on a map or a globe. If we are at a new place, we observe a landmark such as temple, road, hill, river, etc. Such a landmark is called reference point. Early people thought that the shape of the Earth was flat like a plate. It was so because while traveling from one place to another, we do not sense the curved surface of the Earth. When we stand on the top of a mountain or a tall building, the Earth's surface seems to be stretched out endlessly in all directions. Today, we know that the shape of the Earth is like a sphere. Precise measurements have shown that the Earth is not a perfect sphere. It is slightly flattened at the poles and bulges at the equator. Like an orange, the polar radius of the Earth is shorter than the equatorial radius by about 22 km. This unique shape of the Earth is described as geoid shape, which means Earth-like shape. The Earth has no edge or corners which can be used as reference points in locating the places on it. However, the endpoints of the imaginary axis of the Earth on which it rotates provides us two basic points of reference. These endpoints of the Earth's axis are called fixed points on the Earth. The North Pole lies exactly below the pole star and opposite to it is the South Pole. Using the two poles as basic reference point, an imaginary circle is drawn around the Earth midway between the two poles. This great circle divides the Earth into two halves and is known as the equator. The half portion of the Earth to the north of the equator is called Northern Hemisphere. The southern half is called Southern Hemisphere. A particular line from any of the planet to the equator makes an angle of 90 degrees. Thus, the North Pole is at 90 degree north and South Pole is at 90 degree south. When you see a globe, you may easily observe a line drawn midway between the North Pole and South Pole. The line is the equator. It is the largest possible circle on the globe and thus called the Great Circle. This is an image of an Earth, the axis and the equator of the Earth. The equator and the smaller circles drawn parallel to the equator in the northern and southern hemispheres are called the parallels of latitudes or parallels. The semicircles which join the North Pole and the South Pole and also cut the parallels of latitude of right angles are called meridians of longitudes on the meridians. These are used to locate place on a map or a globe. These are the images of parallels and meridians. Latitudes. The latitude of a place on a Earth's surface, its angular distance in the north or south of the equator. It is measured in degrees. If you go from the equator towards the poles in a straight line due north, you will reach the North Pole. This distance is a quarter of the circumference of the earth. From the adjoining figure, you can see that it is an arc of 90 degree. Similarly, the latitude of the semicircle extending from one pole to the other subtends an angle of 180 degree at the center of the earth. Each degree of latitude is divided into 60 minutes and minute is further subdivided into 60 seconds. Suppose the latitude of a place is 8 degrees, 6 minutes and 20 seconds. You can express it as 8 degree, 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Parallels of latitudes. The lines of latitudes are the imaginary lines which encircle the earth. They are parallel to the equator and are called parallels of latitude. All the places having the same value of latitude are to the north of the equator lies on the same latitude. 60 degree north latitude line joins all places situated at an angular distance of 60 degree north of the equator. The equator being in the middle of the two poles of the earth is the longest line of latitude. Its length is equal to the circumference of the earth, which is about 40,000 km. It is essentially to write letter N or S while writing parallels of latitudes. Letter N is written with the latitude of the northern hemisphere and S with the latitudes of the southern hemisphere. The number of latitudes when drawn at 1 degree interval or 90 in the northern hemisphere and 90 in the southern hemisphere. The latitude of the equator is 0 degree. Thus, including the equator, there are 181 latitudes on the earth. Two of them, the North Pole and the South Pole, are only points and the remaining 179 are lines of parallels of latitudes. Besides the two poles and the equator, other important lines of latitudes are the Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degree north. Sunrays fall vertically on 21st June every year on this latitude. The Tropic of Capricorn, 23.5 degree south. The rays of the sun are vertical on 22nd December every year on this latitude. The Arctic Circle, 66.5 degree north. The sun shines for 24 hours on 21st June every year on this latitude. Antarctic Circle, 66.5 degree south. The sun shines for 24 hours on 22nd December every year on this latitude. This image is showing important lines of latitudes. Heat zones. Some part of the earth receive more heat than other parts due to the variation in the angle of the rays of the sun. The rays of the sun do not fall vertically on all places on the surface of the earth at a time. Depending on the heat received, the zones are named differently. They are the torrid or the tropical zone. The region lying between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn is called the tropical or torrid zone. Climatically, this region is hot or torrid. The sun rays are directly overhead only on this zone. The zone receives maximum heat from the sun and is very hot. The temperate zone. The zone between the Tropic of Cancer and the Arctic Circle is called North Temperate Zone. The zone between the Tropic of Capricorn and the Antarctic Circle is called South Temperate Zone. These zones together are called the Temperate Zone. These regions are neither too hot nor too cold and enjoy a mild temperature. The sun rays are never directly overhead. The Frigid Zone. The region lying between the Arctic Circle and the North Pole in the northern hemisphere and between the Antarctic Circle and the South Pole in the southern hemisphere is called the Frigid Zone. From there, circles towards their corresponding poles, the direction of day and night goes on increasing rapidly. At the poles, there is a day of 6 months and 6 months night. The sun rays are very oblique when they strike this part of the globe. The zone remains covered with ice and snow for the most part of the year. It is the coldest zone of the earth. Longitudes. Longitudes are set of imaginary vertical lines. They are in the form of semicircles which join the two poles and are called lines of longitudes or meridians of longitudes. All the meridians are equal in length. According to an international agreement, the meridian which passes through the Greenwich Observatory near London was taken as the starting point and was marked as prime meridian or 0 degree longitude. This is also called the Greenwich meridian. Thus, the longitude of a place is its angular distance, east or west of the prime meridian. It is measured in degrees. There are 180 longitudes drawn on both sides of the prime meridian. The half part of the earth on the east of the prime meridian is called eastern hemisphere and the other half to the west is called western hemisphere. Thus in each hemisphere there are 180 longitudes. The total number of longitudes is 361 including the prime meridian. Meridians to the east of prime meridian are marked as E, whereas to the west of prime meridian as W. The meridian of 180 degree, the just opposite of the prime meridian, neither east or west is written against 0 degree meridian or 180 degree meridian. Can be reached both via east or via west. 180 degree meridian is also called international date line. The prime meridian and the 180 degree meridian together make a great circle which divides the globe into two equal parts, named as the eastern hemisphere and the western hemisphere. All the meridian are equal in length. The distance between any two meridian is maximum at the equator and decreases towards north or south. The distance between two meridians 1 degree apart is about 111 km at the equator. At the poles, the distance is 0. The lines of latitude and longitude intersect each other and form a network. It is called grid. Each place on the grid is intersected by vertical and horizontal lines. Thus, with the help of two sets of lines, the location of any place can be determined. Example, Delhi is located at an intersection of 28 degree north parallel of latitude and 77 degree east line of longitude. Longitude and time. The sun is the best timekeeper throughout the world, so time is measured on the basis of the relationship between the sun and the movement of earth. The earth takes 24 hours to complete one rotation. It passes through 15 degree in 1 hour or 1 degree in 4 minutes. The earth rotates from west to east, so every 15 degree we go eastwards. Local time is advanced by 1 hour. And if we go westwards, local time is retarded by 1 hour. The places east of the Greenwich meridian face the sun earlier and your time, whereas the places lies to the west of the Greenwich meridian see the sun later and lose time. Do you know? The circumference of our earth is 40,000 km. As our earth is sphere, it has an angle of 360 degree. For 360 degree, the distance is 40,000 km. So 1 is equals to 40,000 divided by 360, which is equals to 111 kilometers. So 1 degree measures approximately 111 kilometer distance on the earth. All the places located on the same meridian have the same local time. The local time of one meridian differs from the other. If is noon or 2 o'clock at the Greenwich, the local time of all places at 30 degree east longitude will be 30 into 4 minutes or 120 minutes or 2 hours ahead. It means the time on 30 degree east will be 12 plus 2 is equals to 2 p.m. On the other hand, the local time of all places at 30 degree west longitude will be 2 hours behind the time of Greenwich time. It will be 12 minus 2, 10 a.m. This is the image of sundial with time. And this is the image of Jantar Mantar, Jaipur. Do you know? AM means anti-meridian and PM means post-meridian. Standard time? All of us know that places located at different meridians have different local time. It would create a lot of problems when if all countries would adopt different local times. People crossing the latitudes would have to adjust their watches. The railway timetable and the schedules of the air flights would be difficult to prepare. In order to avoid the problem and maintain its uniformity all over a country, it was decided to adopt a local time for a central meridian of a country as the standard time. The meridian selected should be divisible by 7 degree 30 minutes so that the difference between its standard time and the Greenwich mean time is expressed in the multiple of half an hour. The meridian selected for a country is called the standard meridian. 360 divided by 24 is equals to 15 degree in 1 hour. So half of 15 degree is 7 degree 30 minutes in 30 degree or half hour. The standard meridian of India is 82.5 degree east longitude which passes through Allahabad. The difference of time between GMT and 82 degree east is 5 hours 30 minutes. As the standard meridian of India is towards the east of the prime meridian, the standard time of India is 5 hours and 30 minutes ahead of GMT. Do you know? The countries like Russia and USA with very large east-west extent have 4 time zones. Although about 30 longitudes pass over India, yet it has selected only one standard meridian and one standard time for the whole country for convenience. In spite of east-west distance is 30 into 4 is equals to 120 degree, that is 2 hours. Time zones. In 1884, the International Prime Meridian Conference agreed to divide the world into 24 standard time zones. Each zone is a narrow belt running from north to south within west-east extent of 15 degree of longitude. In a few cases, the west-east extent is a multiple of 7.5 degree longitude. The west-east boundary of each time zone was adjusted with the political boundaries of those countries. Greenwich Mean Time is followed by all countries for the international airlines and ship fleets. Summing up, Earth is like a sphere. It is slightly flattened at the poles and bulges at the equator like an orange. The endpoints of the Earth's axis are called North Pole and South Pole. The half portion of the Earth to the north to the equator is called Northern Hemisphere. The southern half is called the Southern Hemisphere. The lines of latitude are imaginary lines which encircle the Earth. Longitudes are set of imaginary vertical lines. The equator, being in the middle of the two poles of the Earth, is the longest line of latitude. Longitudes are a set of imaginary vertical lines. The meridian which passes through Greenwich is called the Greenwich Meridian. 180 degree meridian is also called International Dateline. All the meridians are equal in length. The distance between two meridians 1 degree apart is about 111 km at the equator. At the poles, the distance is 0. The Earth takes 24 hours to complete one rotation. It passes through 15 degree in 1 hour or 1 degree in 4 minutes. The Earth rotates from west to east. The meridian selected for a country is called the standard meridian. The standard meridian of India is 82.5 degree east longitude, which passes through Allahabad. The difference of time between GMT and 82 degree and half east longitude is 5 hours and 30 minutes. Greenwich Mean Time is followed by all countries for the international airlines and fleets. Thank you, class. Let's meet in the next class.